Shalom, shalom, shalom. Call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Alright. Double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great millstone. Salutations to the fellow occupant on highways and byways across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with honesty and sincerity, while trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully, like this is Nama of the DC camp. And lo and behold, what do we have here? See, Jake is fed up. It's been 67 years since this young man, over a lie, all right, certainly the punishment did not fit the crime. It says, we know she's here. Jake went into a senior living facility looking for this piece of shit. It says Emmett Till protesters enter senior living facility looking for Carolyn Donham. There's a picture on the right. Raleigh, North Carolina. Damn, it's been a long time. It says Emmett Till protesters have been combing senior living facilities because he's rumored to be living somewhere in North Carolina, looking for a woman who was accused of causing his death in 1955. Till's case came to the headline after an undelivered arrest warrant was recently unearthed in a Mississippi courthouse. Now in her 80s, North Carolina's Carolyn Bryant Donham had reportedly accused Till of whistling at her in a grocery store in Amani, Mississippi in 1955. 14-year-old Till was abducted, tortured, and gunned down a week later and dumped into the Tallahatchie River. His swollen and mutilated body was found 3 days later. Donham's husband, Roy Bryant, and half-brother, J.W. Millum, were arrested for his lynching. However, they were later acquitted. Although the two of them later admitted guilt, they could not be prosecuted due to double jeopardy laws. All right, it says the unserved arrest warrant for Donham was found in the basement of the Mississippi courthouse in June this year, so just last month. This prompted Till's family and activists to renew their protests and seek justice once again. You cannot ignore this, said Priscilla Sterling, Till's cousin. If this is what's needed to do for us to change our mindset, our behaviors, and attitudes in the society, then this will do it. This will do it. Execute the warrant. One of the protesters said, according to the Daily Mail, I do understand that Miss Bryant is in her mid to late 80s, but understandably, this is a crime she committed when she was 22. 60 years later, it's time for her to be held accountable. All right. Marsha Bryant, Donham's daughter-in-law, said that the elderly woman had nothing to do with it, and that Till's murder appalled her. But didn't she say in her book that was done about, 5 years ago or so, that she knew that she lied? So this is bullshit. Shalaki. All right? So she admitted to it. This is not just something that, says they think what happened to Emmett Till should happen to her. Well, that would be square, wouldn't it? It says the lead counsel for the Black Lawyers for Justice, Malik Shabazz, along with other activists, entered a senior living center in search for Donham on Wednesday, July the 6th. We on the move. We don't know how they're hiding this white woman down here. They're hiding Carolyn Bryant Donham, Shabazz said in a Facebook Live. They're calling the police, but we're on the move. We know she's in here. Confused senior citizens were seen sitting in wheelchairs as the group walked into the facility. Some of the protesters wore what looked like bulletproof vests. Despite media reporting, it is as the group stormed the facility, the activists contend it was peaceful and there was no trouble caused. What does she look like? One woman asked when questioned if she knew Donham. The false accuser of Emmett Till, the one that said that Emmett Till had sexually assaulted her, She lives in this building. The woman responded, no, honey, she does not live in this facility. She lives in a nursing home. This is not a nursing home. All right. The group left the facility through the door chanting, no justice, no peace, and black power. Oh, here we go with that shit. I knew once I read that name, Malik Shabazz, I knew some shit was, yeah. Two other residences listed under Dunham's name were reportedly visited by the activists who taped an eviction notice to the front door. Police and activists are still searching for Dunham. Till's case was closed by the Department of Justice, which stated that no further prosecution could take place because back in 1955, federal hate crimes did not exist. It also claimed that the statute of limitations for a civil rights case have already expired, but what about murder? Hopefully now you all are beginning to see, hold on, let me get something, just how fucked up. Here it is. And yet, here's what you have here. As soon as it loads. What did I say about these little hats? These hey, I'm just going to have to read it says 101-year-old former Nazi concentration camp guard sentenced to 5 years. This just happened. 101-year-old. So hadn't the statute of limitations expired on that? This guy's 101 years old. So what's the difference here? I mean, what? See, you think when we say things like that, that we're just, we're just angry. Hell yeah, we're fucking angry. Because we see the hypocrisy here. All right, we don't never know if this motherfucker was even, but they have to maintain this lie that they've always told that they are the Hebrews. They are the Israelites of the Bible, and they are not. They are descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. They are red Hebrew Edomites. They are not Hebrew Israelites. They've run a con on the world. And you can't tell me that people, a lot more than we thought, were aware of this. But they profited. They profited off of it. Hey, Psalms 83rd chapter, let's go there. This has all been done in an attempt, because who run the world now? Who is the world given to us? Given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. So they know as long as we, all right, this is Psalms 83:1. I got to read from the top. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. And he's not. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head, that pride. They have taken crafty counsel. You can see people, for instance, this past Saturday, this is Monday, this past Saturday, all right, we had a couple Edomites that I noticed past the camp, and they were looking at the sign. We got the 12 tribe sign out there, in front. And you see this real hateful look from the Edomite woman. They go past the camp, and then they stop like maybe 10 yards past the camp, and they conversate amongst each other. And you can tell they looking back and shit, and they're like, so they tried to play it off. They came back, and they had to take a look at the sign again, and they were like, so they went across the street. And I was, trying not to bust out laughing, but I told, another brother about what just happened. And they can't stand it, because this lie, all right, has been allowed to go on for so long. It's such a shock to some of these motherfuckers. It goes against what they've been taught. Not that what they taught has been true, but what they've been taught. And they just went along with it because, after all, who controls all the literature, all the books in the schools and all this? At the end of the day, it's the little hats. All right? Continuing on. 3, they have taken crafty counsel. That's just what I said. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. My last video, I did the thing about this reporter from Fox News went to Thomas Jefferson Plantation, Monticello, and she was appalled at, in her words, how the left, when she went to see everything, it's how it's geared toward, well, this man held slaves. He was a horrible person. Because it's no longer like, well, this was such a great man, and he was part of the establishment of this great country, and blah, blah, blah. The usual bullshit that we were all taught as we were growing up. So they can't take all the truth that's coming out on what these people actually did. That facade, that image of this being such a righteous place, which it never has been, but all that is falling apart now. I read Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, all right, up until the 16th verse, which was the point. Shameful spewing on thy glory. And that's what's happening. And they can't stand it. But it's the truth. And what did the scripture say about the truth? This is what's hurting. Keeping it spiritual. Let's go to, and that's what's happening here with this Carolyn Bryant Dunham shit. She lied, and it cost this Jake his life. This is 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We don't need guns and all that other shit, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, lies, etc., and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach Yahushua. All right, so that's why I always say it's a good time to be alive right now, because you're seeing the fall of your enemy. That's Sirach 25, verse 7. We're seeing these things, all these things, these curses being transferred onto these devils. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. She thought she's just going to die peacefully in her bed and get away with it. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Most High thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. See, she's being vexed now. And all the people of that same mindset. We can't get away with the shit that we used to, these niggers. Damn it. And that's why there's this call for make America great again. You get a lot of our people can't read between the lines what they're actually saying. They want to go back to the good old days when they could do anything to us. All right. Oh, there's a race and class war coming, believe you me. All right, because I'll say a lot of people have picked up what's really going on, and there are a lot that haven't. All right, and there's this clash now because they're going to bring back this bullshit again with this pandemic shit, and they're going to shut everything down. All right, because they have to bring about this new currency, this digital currency. All right, because at the end of the day, it's all about control. All this information getting out. All right, this is about, you have to read Exodus 21st chapter. All right, going about how you deal with Hebrew slave. See, we've been under these adhesion contracts and all other kind of, we were bound by paper contracts. Now this devil's trying to take it to the next level. So he wants to put that chip in you. This is all about control. And that chapter, Exodus 21, goes into how do you deal with Hebrew slaves. All right. And ultimately, Revelation 13th chapter is going into what? At least 16, 17, and 18 verse is going to what? Who are you going to choose as your power, as your God? And Esau is putting himself in the position to where he wants to be the Most High. We're in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter. That's also addressed in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28th chapter. All right, it's talking about the same people. All right, he's being revealed now. So he's trying to hurry up and bring about this new world order, thinking that, once again, it tells you in Job 20, when he thinks he's got everything set up, boom, bam, the doors get kicked in. This is a raid, motherfucker. Get on the floor, you know. That's it, you know. Hey, so, yeah, shaking things up here. So they got this woman here. These people went in and even though it was the wrong place, but for sure now, wherever she is, they have probably moved her. Because if they thought before that it was some kind of joke, that people would just, you know how Jake is, you know, talk a lot of shit. But now that they know these motherfuckers are actually going in places, at least one place, yeah, so they're going to take, but see, they're showing you that, yeah, so what? You know, they're going 67 years, it was a long shot. But you have to know, if this was some kind of, and they got a show on TV about this, what is it, Nazi hunters or some shit? I just caught a couple of show. I just turned the shit. I don't want to see that shit. But yeah, they'll like I just showed you, the motherfucker's 101 years old, and they still locked his ass up over some bullshit. Hey, so with that, hey, shalom.